We come together this year to recognize and pay tribute to the life of a great Bahamian son in the person of the late Sir Clifford Darling. We are so excited and grateful to Lady Ingrid Darling for consenting for us to pay tribute in this special way to her late husband. We regard Sir Clifford Darling as a trailblazer in the trade union movement, one whose life every Bahamian should strive to emulate. We recognize that we live in an age where there's still a lot of struggle that goes on between labor and management, between employer and employees, notwithstanding all the accomplishment since the era of Sir Clifford Darling. Employers and employees are always in dispute as to how the economic pie ought to be shared. This sometimes creates tension between the parties. Therefore, the trade union's job, as articulated by Sir Clifford Darling, is to bring a balance to the workplace between the employee and the employer in the interest of all parties. The difficulty we constantly find ourselves in is that the employers, on the most part, do not seem to want a balance in the workplace. Sandals Hotel is a clear example of that. When we look at the life story of Sir Clifford, it gives us courage to continue the struggle. We recognize the depressed state of our economy, coupled together with joblessness, making it even more difficult to face the future with hope. As we face these many challenges, both economically and socially, the life story of Sir Clifford reminds us that we have had great prosperity during that era, experienced by Sir Clifford Darling, to which he was a major contributor. This is a significant stage in our development. We have been forced to take steps to address the economic crisis and joblessness we have been experiencing over the last year or so. By all account, our economy is once again showing signs of life, but we aren't there yet. However, despite the current economic situation, we pause today. We pause to remember, to reflect, and to reaffirm that the rights and benefits we enjoy today weren't simply handed to Bahamian workers. They had to be won. They had to be fought for by men and women of courage and conviction, of which Sir Clifford Darling was in the forefront. For the past several years, the labor movement had to move the courts to enforce their constitutional rights, due mainly to the government's unwillingness to incorporate the International Labour Organization Convention 87 into our Local Industrial Relations Act. On several occasions, we have asked the government to remove the registration of the industrial agreements from the Bahamas Industrial Tribunal if the tribunal is going to continue to adjudicate on the said agreements. It is our considered opinion that it would eventually create a legal problem on the basis that the industrial tribunal would be judge, jury, and executioner all at the same time, which militates against the rule of natural justice. We suggest that the registration of the industrial agreements be transferred to the Registrar of Trade Unions. We need a Ministry of Labor with a reformed labor system with a serious commitment and investment to workers' education, because the Trade Union Congress believes a trained worker is generally productive workers and additionally productive citizens. We have asked the government to amend the local labor legislation to accommodate ILO Convention 87, which the government ratified in May of 2001. Nothing has happened to date. We have asked the government to establish regulations to accompany the Occupational Health and Safety at Work Act of 2001. This we consider urgent due to Bahamas development project on Cable Beach, which is now on stream, and companies like Container Port and the shipyard in Freeport, just to name a few. These are cosmetic changes which ought to be done without any extra cost to the government. We again call on the government to make the adjustments as they are consistent with a progressive civil society. The legislative agenda of the Trade Union Congress is expansive and necessary if the labor movement intends to be responsive to the needs of its members. Therefore, we intend to engage the government in this regard. As I close, I re-echo the parting words of Sir Clifford Darling to me: do all within your power to unite the trade union movement. This adage is still officially true. In unity, there is strength. We welcome the change of attitude of the new Minister of Labor, who has agreed to meet with the Trade Union Congress on a monthly basis. This decision is welcome and would go a long way in maintaining good industrial relations. In that regard, I invite all working people to join me and the affiliates of the Trade Union Congress on the official route beginning Windsor Park at 8 a.m., up East Street onto Bay Street, west on Bay Street to Navy Line Road, south on Navy Line Road to West Bay Street, down to Arawa Key, where we will meet a number of our affiliates. And on behalf of the Executive Board and the affiliates of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas Trade Union Congress, I wish all the people of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas a safe and prosperous and a healthy Labor Day. Thank you, and may God bless the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.